My body just knew. My body decided to wake up for no reason. It's a ridiculous hour right now. I've had very little sleep, but my body woke up, and it's because there was a Jump Force trailer out. It knew, man. Now, this is a story mode trailer, so it's a very, very long trailer. I would recommend go checking this out for yourself. I'm not just going to re-upload it or do something like that, but what I will do is go through notable points of the trailer. I've got around 60 screenshots here, so we've got a lot to go over. Again, I've already seen the trailer, but I haven't had a chance to really digest it. So at first we see Trunks playing with this thing. I don't know what it is, but we also learned that the place that the lobby takes place in, and what I'm assuming is the base of operation, is called Umbrus Base. It's an interesting name, I guess. We then see that the Jump Force is somewhat of a Justice League group. We are a member of the Jump Force. So that's a kind of cool concept. We then get our first look at free roam. I would imagine this is just kind of a thing we do before missions, maybe. I doubt it's going to be completely in-depth or anything like that. I would just imagine it's kind of be a basic free roam system similar to what we have with the lobby, but this time in story mode. We then get an in-game look at one of the original characters, which I think looks pretty decent. We see our creator character teaming up with Piccolo against a horde of kind of zombie-ish enemies. It's kind of similar to what they did with the Dragon Ball FighterZ story, which is why I'm kind of disappointed about what we've seen of story mode so far. It doesn't look like they're doing a lot very unique, but we'll see how we go, I guess. In this next screenshot, we see Vegeta kind of like rise up, and he's got this dark energy around him, so maybe he's being consumed or controlled by Kane, which we will learn about a little bit later on. And that's probably what's happening to these zombie creatures as well. They're probably not the same type of zombie creatures we had from the Dragon Ball FighterZ story. It's probably just people being controlled throughout the world, just like how you're a creator character from one of these Jump worlds. These zombies are also going to be like the same thing, but they're being controlled by the enemy. That's at least my assumption. And we see the big three, along with Piccolo in the background and your CAC, standing tall and strong together. We then see Zoro himself fighting off multiple of these zombie guys. We then get to have a look at your creator character getting in some cardio with Sanji. Our first in-game look at Cell outside of a screenshot, which looks really nice. Our first in-game look at Ryuk, and he looks awesome. Get a shot of Light as well, with Ryuk standing behind him. Asta looks so good in-game. Asta and Naruto and Goku getting surrounded by these zombie guys. Naruto going up against Toguro. Interestingly enough, Toguro doesn't have those red eyes that the other enemies have had, so perhaps Togoro's acting on his own in this scene. Also, interestingly, the same thing can be said for Frieza and Aizen in this screenshot, so I would imagine that the villains are working together in this story, rather than being independent actors. We then get a look at creator character standing by Goku and Yosuke. Not much to take away from this screenshot either. We see ourselves with a couple other new members of the Jump Force saluting our superior, and then we also get to have a look at us training, and then we're all doing a spirit bomb here for some reason. And here we get a look at some creator character options, which look fantastic. I'm not going to go over each of them, especially not in this short video that we have here, but I can certainly say there's a lot of interesting options here, like Sakura's hair. Also, we see Ace's hat. So a lot of potential characters there. We also get our first look at a business suit, which is nice. So I'm going to be creating Light Yagami for sure. Talked about that 1,000 times. I really just want to play Light Yagami in this game. And if that means I need to create him and create a character, that's what I'm going to do. Through a story screenshot, we actually get a chance to look at Sabo in-game, which is nice because we haven't really seen him for a while. We then get a move list. I haven't gone over this. There might actually be some cute references here. More than likely, this is probably just all the moves that are in the game. Well, not all the moves that are in the game, but these are already moves that are already announced. We then get a look at this menu, which we've already seen before, which is just our abilities and awakenings. Again, I think it's really interesting that an awakening is considered a different thing than an ability here. Again, I think, I've talked about in the past, the reason I think that is because your normal attacks, the attacks that your character does with, square and whatever, is purely based on which awakening you have. You can see a little bit of that in the next screenshot when we see our CAC fighting Frieza, and he's still using Goku's moveset, just like all the other creator characters did back in the beta. We then get to see our CAC doing a Thunderbolt, and then a Spirit Bomb. Finally, we get our first look at Kane, who's going to be using the Onyx book to recreate the world. Not sure exactly what that means. Obviously, that's going to be how he's creating these zombie-like creatures, or not necessarily creating them, but controlling the other creator character style characters in this game. It's an interesting concept. I think it's the best thing they could have done. I really like the idea of the group of Jump heroes being called Jump Force. and get to see Naruto trying to take on Kane. I would imagine he fails at that. We do get a look at Boa and Ichigo standing next to each other, and they look pretty good. Boa's model in this game is fantastic. And here we get a look at Luffy trying to kill Sanji for some reason. I'm not sure why they decided to show this in the trailer, but we have a look at our City Hunter character here doing his super. Our first look at Trunks' super, and oh my god, I am so excited to see that in full motion. I'm gonna have to play Trunks, man. I'm gonna have to. Light Yagami kind of spying on our protagonists over here. I wonder why. I wonder if Light's being controlled. I wonder if Light's actively working against the team. Maybe he's undercover. I don't know. I would like to know, because I want to know whether I want to be on Light's side or not. Alright, then we get a look at our first in-game footage of Aizen in a very long time. And of course, he looks fantastic. That hair, man. That hair is on point. Kane staring into his Onyx book. Another look at Light Yagami with Ryuk, with our creator character in the background. The big three walking on up. And finally, the shot we saw at E3 with, of course, Goku, Naruto, and Luffy charging at Frieza. I'm not sure why we're charging at Frieza when he's just one of the villains in the game. I actually really was impressed with the trailer itself, but as far as the story mode is concerned so far, I'm not particularly excited about the storytelling here because it doesn't look like they're trying to do anything particularly ambitious. Basically, the story appears to be big obstacle in the force of Kane. Kane has recruited these villains, perhaps, and now us as the Jump Force, the Justice League, or the Avengers of this world, have to take on Kane and his vagabond of villains. Which, you know, it works. It's a story. I'm not sure I was expecting anything different. One thing I am excited about is how they're going to end up using some of these characters in the story mode. We've seen that Asta has an impact on the story despite being a relatively new character. So what does that mean? Does that mean Deku's going to be involved with the story? How much are the side characters involved with the story? Obviously, Trunks appears to be relatively important to the story, and he was only recently revealed. In summary, I think I really like the story that they're telling here with the kind of Justice League-y thing. I just don't think I'm looking forward to fighting hordes of these zombie-type characters being controlled by Kane. Maybe I'll change my mind when I actually get my hands on the game. It's just not something I'm actively looking forward to as of right now. I like some of the aesthetic things going on. Like, for example, I like the design of Kane. Regardless, I want to thank you so much for watching the video. Let me know what you think of the story mode so far and what we've seen of it. Again, you can look at the full story mode trailer in the link in the description. It's definitely worth checking out if you haven't seen it yet. My name's been Bilbsy. If you enjoyed the video at all, you found it informative, remember to leave a like on the video, subscribe to keep up to date with future content like this, and I'll see you in the next video.